What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Leon Angus. If you are brand new to this channel, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and as we get into this video, if you are enjoying the content, then make sure to leave me a nice like throughout at some point in this video. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, well, I've done previous videos like a series, if you haven't tuned into any of them, where I review successful niche websites every week. They're usually Amazon affiliate sites so far. I do think one of them may have been monetizing with ClickBank, but so far we mainly focus on Amazon associates or Amazon affiliate. Okay, so what I do throughout each of these videos is I break down the site to its bare principles. We see what kind of keywords they're targeting, how they structure their content, how much traffic they're bringing in, their on-page and off-page SEO, so all of the backlinks and stuff like that. And from it, you can obviously take away key points of what it takes to be successful with an Amazon affiliate site, and then implement those strategies and techniques into your own business. But today's going to be a bit of a different video, and the reason why is because one of the sites that I reviewed last week, after doing a little bit more research and actually speaking to a subscriber of this channel, I've realized that one of these sites are actually doing something very different and very unique to what I have seen ever before in this affiliate marketing niche website space. Okay, so what this site is actually doing is they are dominating a whole kind of industry on the internet by creating several different sites which are all closely related on a given topic. Okay, so the site that we reviewed last week was Pup Life Today. Okay, and this week we're going to review another site that they have, which is Cat Life Today, Pet Life Today. So they've got a bunch of different sites and they're all targeting very similar keywords. But what I am going to show you, this is a bit more of an advanced strategy, but once you've got one successful site, who's to say that you can't create several more within that space? And because you've actually already tested and got all of that data that you've drawn in from that first website, it's going to be a lot easier for you to then go off and actually create more sites to dominate the second, third, fourth positions in one Google page result. Okay, and that's what this site is doing. So when we obviously reverse engineer a lot of the strategies that they're doing and the keywords that they're ranking for, we're going to see several different terms that they actually have 2 or 3 of their sites ranking for one particular keyword. Now, as you know, with Google search results, it's all about taking up real estate on the screen. So if you've got several different sites, if they don't click on one of your sites, they might click on another one and you still get that affiliate commission. So this is really good, and they've actually kept like a strong branding across all of these 3 sites, which is also very important. So I just want to go through all of it, break it all down. We're not going to drill into things like, you know, the site speed and things like that, because we've done that on the other site. So I'm sure that they've kind of got the same kind of qualities of their website across the board. Okay, so if they've got like one of their sites that are pretty fast, which it was last week, very snappy and fast, then of course they would have optimized all of their other sites to do the same. So we looked at all the technicalities of that last week. This week what we're going to look at is the complete strategy of how they're just dominating this space. And funny enough, this is the same niche that I'm in, which is the pet niche. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot that I can actually take away and implement from this video as well. So I do talk and digress a little bit. Let's get into this video. I'm sure you're as excited as I am to actually see what this site has to offer, or these sites I should say. Make sure you smash that like button if you're excited. Let's get into it. So this is one of the sites. This is Pet Life Today. So this is one of their sites you can see here, which is pretty cool. So it looks very similar to the one that we was looking at last week. And then if we take a look at one of their other sites, this is Pup Life Today. So this is their second site that they have. I'm not sure if they even have any more like other than the 3 that I'm going to show you today. And this is the third one, which is Cat Life Today. And they all look almost identical. And if you look at a lot of the keywords that they're targeting, they're also very similar as well. But what's interesting is because obviously if they've already ranked for a particular keyword, say for example, like, you know, dog monitors, then they can also rank for it on this site as well, you know, so they could do exactly the same thing. And these sites are very similar. Let's have a look at the authors and see if they're similar as well. So if we actually take a look, let's see if we can find anything to do with the authors. There's a very interesting technique and strategy, and as you can see, it's very effective because they are bringing in tons of traffic on each of these sites. Now there's actually a plugin, well, not a plugin, a Google extension tool that I use, which is called SimilarWeb. And what this does is it basically shows you the average amount of traffic that a website brings in. So it'll give you a few other metrics. Now, it can be inaccurate at times, but it gives you a kind of ballpark figure to understand what a site is doing. Okay, so we can see here that they're obviously almost reaching 1 million views, page views per month on this one website. And then we've got obviously the bounce rate at 81%, which is very normal for an affiliate site because you are expecting a lot of people to come in and bounce straight off onto another website, which is obviously where you'll get your affiliate commission, Amazon in this case. Then you can see the average pages per visit. Now, a lot of people get scared from this metric because you expect people to be reading multiple pages. But if someone comes in straight off Google and they're searching for the best, XYZ, and then you've given them the answer, well, if you've got a high bounce rate and a low page per visit, then obviously that's pretty good because it means that they're coming in and they're getting what they needed and clicking off onto the relevant links. Okay. And then we've got obviously average view duration. So how long someone stays on a particular page when they visit the site. So that's obviously set at, I think that's that's either a minute or a second. I think that's about a minute most probably. And then as we go down, you can see that 77% of the traffic is coming from United States. And then right behind that is Canada and then United Kingdom, Australia. That is exactly what you want to see because this is the areas with the most buyers, okay? Or the countries, I should say, with the most buyers. And then 90% is search traffic. And then they've got a bit of direct coming in, which is pretty good because you always want direct right behind search because obviously that says that people are familiar with the brand and they're actively searching for this specific site direct in Google, just like how I did just now, PetLife Today, sorry. Yeah, okay, so they've just actually taken something that works and then just injected it with steroids. It's that simple. So we can't actually find the, let's see, sorry, so this is the About Us. We might find the authors over here. So we can see them here. And let's take a look at the authors on this one. Okay, so we've got, Jennifer Coates, Catherine Thompson. Let's have a look. So it's exactly the same authors as well. So this is what's really brilliant about this. Now, I am going to dig into something in particular on this video, and that's going to be EAT. Now, many of you who are watching this video may have heard of EAT, but not truly understand what it stands for. Okay, so what that stands for is level of expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. So this is something that Google have rolled out over the past year or so. And it's basically where the focus of Google's search engine is, okay? So what that means is things like author bios are now very severely or heavily scrutinized, okay? So Google are actually trying to understand the background of each particular author. So that means anything from social profiles to author bios to where the author has written particular pieces of content. They're actually trying to understand the background and credibility of each particular author. So then that credibility or authority is carried wherever they are on the internet. Okay, so for example, how they're using this is absolutely just mind-blowing because they're basically doing something just so smart. They're taking the authors and putting them across each particular site. So if this author is very credible in the eyes of search engines and Google in particular in this scenario, then that author will also carry that authority over to this website where they are writing here. Okay, and let's take a look at this third site to see if they are actually doing it. And if we look, we might even find, Life Today, we might find more of their sites. So let's have a look. I don't know if they've got any other ones. Like, what other animals are there that they could have? I'm sure they've probably got a bunch of them. They've probably got a bunch, I don't know, cats, dogs. I mean, those are the most common. But they've probably got a bunch of different websites that they're just dominating. And again, look, they've got the same authors. This is very, very interesting because what this says is that, if you are going to build one site, then why not build multiple sites? Because you can do it in the same space. You don't have to venture out, you see, because if we check the amount of traffic, so we know that this one's bringing in just under 1 million views a month, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then if we take a look at this one, we can't get any data. So this, I would assume, is a relatively more new site than the PetLife Today, okay? And then let's take a look at this one and see if we can get any data on this. See if the tool loads up. and boom, this one's at 125K visits per month. So you can see that this one is, again, like, very similar, but a lot more relatively new. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is the organization. It doesn't say when this site came about. Let's have a look if we can find any information. This is quite interesting because, there's so much info. So you can see, so 2020, that one says anyway, they're probably all going to say that. Okay, so that's not when the site was founded. So what we can potentially check is, let's have a look at the privacy policy. Now, one of the things that they are using, which I was telling you about last time, was the scholarship technique. Okay, if you don't know what the scholarship technique is, there's actually a site from a guy who created 10beast.com. That was the site that he created. And basically he's got a site called nichepie.com. Like a niche pie, just type in niche pie and you'll find it, nichepie.com. And he shares all of these techniques here. So like the scholarship technique, timeroid technique, all of this stuff. Now you can see how old this content is. Like, I mean, some of it's 2016, but it's still very useful. And it's where you can get a lot of information on Amazon affiliate sites. So you can see this is the actual creator of 10beast. And this is like his personal blog where he just leaves tips and information and studies and research of, how he built up 10beast and all the other projects that he's working on as well. I'm not sure if he's actively building any sites at the moment, but I mean, someone with a skill set like that is probably is. So you can see there, this is Generate Press theme, which I've recommended to you guys in previous videos. It's one of the best free themes that you can get. Very good theme. But there's a few pieces of content that you can check out on that site. It looks like it doesn't have that much. Or if he's taken some down, it looks like, actually, to be honest. Let's have a look. So I think, I think he's actually taken a bit of it down, but this is one of them that was so useful. This is like on-page SEO. See, this is like a backlinko study that used to be around. It's not around anymore, so it's good that you can still see that as well, actually. That's pretty good. But yeah, basically the scholarship technique, just to give you an idea, I digress, as I always do. But they want to tell you that SEO is three basic steps. Like an affiliate website is three basic steps. It's about good keyword research, good content, which means, content that actually gives the answer that someone's looking for and helps them to solve a problem. And then backlinks. Like you can go and complicate it. You can go and do all these other things, but anything outside of that is making up the additional 20%. 80% of a site's success is based on good keyword research, good content, and good backlinks. And that is it, honestly. And the backlinks are based on relevancy and so on and so forth. Now, you don't have to actively build backlinks because some people don't. You might have seen several different channels of people who preach not to actively go and build backlinks, but they will still stress to you that backlinks are super important because they are a ranking factor that Google takes into consideration, which is within the top 3 ranking factors. Now, if you want to actually check out Google's ranking factors, you can go and see that on a website called Backlinko, which is where this kind of thing was taken from. I forgot what these are called again, but this big image. So where this is taken from, actually go over, what is it, backlinko.com, yeah, Backlinko, and just type ranking factors, like, ranking factors, and it will pop up straight away. So you can see there's over 200. Now, I wouldn't focus on all of them because you get lost. This is Matt Cutts as well from Google. He's the one who releases all the information on what they're doing and stuff, updates and all that stuff. But you can see these are all the different ranking factors. I wouldn't get caught up in this. Just maybe give it a once over one time, and you really will just learn the most important key factors to pay attention to as you go forward. But mainly making sure that your content is good and optimized, backlinks, and keyword research. I mean, you can't really go wrong. And keyword research obviously is not part of your ranking factors. What you do after is how that's determined. So again, I digress. How did I leave this a second time? Make sure you smash that like button if you're enjoying this video. Anyway, I hope this mic sounds good as well because it's a new mic. It's a Rode mic, so hopefully it sounds good because a few previous videos my mic wasn't all that, but this one seems to be doing well. Anyway, so basically what the scholarship technique is, because backlinks are so important, it's a way of attracting backlinks from authoritative websites. Okay, so for example, if I were to look at this, it's a scholarship technique. Well, what it is they're basically making it available for university students to apply for a scholarship with their business. Now, this is a fictitious scenario. I don't know if this is legit. Maybe go and apply for it. I'm not going to waste my time and do that. I don't think it's legit. It usually isn't. But what happens is you get a bunch of universities who are these .org and big authority websites. Like I'm talking like, domain authority is very high. So if you don't know what domain authority is, that's just a metric that's used, which is created by a website or a company called Moz. And what they do is basically they use that metric on a 0 to 100, 100 being the best, to gauge how authoritative a website is. And that's used for you to analyze your competition, because if you've got a higher domain authority than them, then you might be able to out on particular topics. And then obviously they've also got page authority, which is the same metric but for specific pages. So you can compare, your overall domain authority and your page authority. But how that all relates to this is because when all these websites are linking back that have a very high domain authority, that's going to increase the authority of this particular page, okay, and the overall website. And you can see here, look, these are all the different, look, so they've actually awarded, I don't know if this is legit, like they probably have made this legit. Look, scholarship for the award. Okay, so I don't know what they're doing. They're probably even paying these people out because of how much this site generates just to keep it legit. But you can see, look, as I said, this is .edu, which is like education or something. These are like authoritative websites, yeah? So they've actually linked out to that site on this particular situation just to show that it's a legit competition or whatever it is, yeah? But what it is these students apply to it here on this page, yeah, but it's not intended for them to apply and do all of that. It's just fictitious. So like the aim is to get backlinks from these high authority .org websites, these authoritative, educational universities. And the reason for that is obviously to increase this website's authority, as I mentioned. But what's interesting is because what they do is after they actually get these links, they then use interlinking, yeah, like a spider web. So imagine like you've got a web, but then you want to link all the energy, like the power from another web to your one. Well, what you'll do is build one string from that web to this one. So that's what the link does. But after the link comes over, they then kind of disperse those links in throughout this site, like all of that power, which we call link juice in SEO, into other areas of the website. So what this means is basically when the actual link comes in, these uni sites to this page, because these unis are going to go share this on their sites, okay? So like a site like this, like this one here, let's have a look. A site like this would have, so they've shared it because like, they most definitely would have shared it, yeah? So if we actually put like, I don't know, they've got it somewhere, like I don't know how to find it on their site, but it'd be like maybe scholarship or something. So they've basically got this on the site, and yeah, I don't know. It'll be somewhere on the site somewhere. Basically, what will happen is they would share it because they want students to apply. So they believe that it's legit. So they would actually share it on their site, and then they would leave a link back to this page. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's how they're getting it. And if you get 10, 20, like, big, huge authoritative websites doing that, you're going to quickly build up a lot of authority on your website. Now, because I know this technique is so powerful, what we're going to do, so you can see here there's information. And if you want to use that kind of technique, it's not recommended because this guy used it on Tembeast, not this Backlinko guy. The guy from Tembeast who obviously created Niche Pie. So Tembeast is this site what was bringing in like $40,000 a month at its peak. I don't know if it still does that, but it's a very huge like tech site. So the thing what was interesting is because it never had a lot of content. So when it was doing that, it only had like 25 pages or something. Like, so it's ridiculous. It completely turns all of the common beliefs on its head. Okay, but he was using techniques like the scholarship technique, and I'm not sure if he was using PBNs or anything like that, okay? But you can go and check out that site. So to rank for these kind of things is very hard, like best drones under 500, like it's very hard. But he was using all these kind of SEO, if you want to call it grey hat tactics. What we talk about grey hat in SEO is just like, under the kind of pirate techniques in that sense, to rank his content. Okay. So that's how he was doing it, but he was getting these kind of links as well. So that's how I understand this technique so well. Okay, because I've read it on his site and how that works. And also you can check out interviews of him on YouTube. I'm not sure what his name is. Lukman. His name is Lukman. I don't know what his surname is, but just type in Lukman Tembis on YouTube and you'll find interviews. Okay, so we can see here, this is University of Maryland, so on and so forth. So we're not getting caught up on this website today, but I'm just showing you a basic technique that obviously is very effective. What we do want to see though is all of the information about each of these sites. So what we're going to do is head over to my keyword research tool. Okay, so let's take a look at that. All right, so this is a keyword research tool that I use. Many of you would have seen it in previous videos. It's called keysearch.co. It's $17 a month. It's the best tool for under $20 that you can find online, especially if you're a beginner. You know, you've got all those kind of different costs that are involved with bringing a new website to life. So I always recommend this tool. There is a link in the description to the tool. It's an affiliate link. Currently, I've got like 35 people signed up under me. So thank you to all of you who have actually signed up. But if you do use my link, you get a discount. So it's $17. But if you go through my link and use the discount code that I've got specifically for my subscribers in the link, in the description, you can actually get it for $13 a month, which works out, if you're in the UK, like £10 or £9. That is ridiculous. And it gives you a ton of data. I've checked different tools and this is the best one for that price range that I've found anyway. Maybe there's better. Leave a comment if you know something different. Okay, so anyway, this tool has different sections. Okay, so we can check back organic keywords that the competitors are ranking for, so on and so forth. But one of the most important things that it has is it checks like an overhaul, like of how many overalls they have, which can be inaccurate to a certain degree sometimes. So it might not extract all of the information available. It's limited for what it can find. But what can you expect for a $13 tool? It's very good for what you pay. And then it gives you like the average amount of keywords that they have in positions 1 to 3, average amount in 4 to 10, so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is plug in all 3 of their sites to see what kind of information we can gather and how we can extract or reverse engineer their strategies. So we can see here that there's a bunch of do follow links and no follow links. So do follow are links that are crawled by search engines. So that means if you leave a link from one site to another site, the search engine will actually go through that link and check it all out and pass through, like, link juice, as I mentioned earlier, which is just essentially ranking power from to another. So you can carry over that authority. Whereas no follow links are links that are like usually what are affiliate links. Like usually you would no follow an affiliate link because you don't want the search engines to go and carry your power from your site over to that affiliate link, onto the affiliate page. Okay, but no follow links can sometimes be gathered if you're doing like things like blog commenting. So if you're going onto other websites, competitor sites, and leaving comments, then it's set to no follow because they don't want their authority to be taken away through someone leaving a comment. So if it's got like a link with your name, say for example, Leon to leonangus.com, they're not going to want that passing through for me leaving a comment. So they no follow the link. So search engines do not pass power through those links. Okay, I've got here obviously that the site is bringing in 2.1 million views per month, according to my tools. So that's very different to what SimilarWeb brings up. So as you can see, this is why I try and always explain to you guys that these tools are just ballpark figures. Yeah, some of them are better than others. And I found that the more premium you go, like in regards to Ahrefs and SEMrush, then the more accurate the data becomes. For these tools, they're usually just more of a ballpark vague figure, but they're good enough for you to actually use to go out and attempt to go for a particular term. And because everything is so focused on intent these days, you don't really have to kind of worry too much about exact numbers because none of them are exact. Even the most expensive tool you can find is never going to find exact data because it's so it varies every day. It's so dynamic in that sense. Okay, so the numbers are never going to be like accurate. They're always estimates. And then you can see here they've got a very high rank for Okay, global rank. Okay, so this is worldwide. That's from something called Alexa. I don't use that. So like the trick I use or go by. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we can see that the overall level of authority for this site is obviously, well, the level of competition that they can target is 43, which is very high on this tool. But what this does is if we wanted to check, the level of authority of their domain, we could do URL metrics, okay, or competitor gap. That's quite interesting as well. That's a good section of this. Actually, let's do URL metrics. So what you do is you come in here and it gives us all this data on the right, and then down here it will give us some. So we can see that their page authority is stupid high, which is 53, and they've got a domain authority of 47. So like it's stupidly high, and then that's the Alexa rank and whatever else. So don't pay attention to that. And then they've got like a Facebook following and all that, 138 followers or something. I don't have a clue. Anyway, so like that's quite interesting. What we're also going to take a look at is the keywords that they're ranking for. So we can see here, these are some of the best keywords that they're ranking for. So even what I want you to pay attention to is so many of you are caught up on all of these like big keywords and for this and that. But I keep telling you, it's all based on search intent. So you can see that. Look at this keyword, yeah, and this is like, good enough to, it's not going to give you an exact number, but it's going to give you like a very good gauge, okay? So we can see here that this is a page. Look at these pages, yeah, organic top pages. This one page is bringing in 47,000 views per month, yeah? This one page is bringing in 110,000 page views per month. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so let's have a look at organic and see what keywords this page is ranking for. So we can't actually find it there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take that. If we open another tab, we're then going to reverse engineer this page. So we're going to go to organic keywords, and instead of entire domain, we're actually going to do specific page. We're going to paste that in there and then search it. And this will actually give us some data to see what organic keywords this page is ranking for. So I just want to prove a point to you and show you exactly why one keyword doesn't matter. So you can see that this one page, okay, is ranking for, there's over 1,000 different keywords there. Okay, so the tool can't even pull the amount of data because there's more than 1,000. This tool only pulls up to 1,000 keywords, and there is more than that. It says it's got all the way 20 pages of keywords for one page. Okay, so you can see this one page is ranking for animal GPS tracker, best dog tracking system, best collar review, best dog trackers, collar with tracking. Can you see how many keywords? If we go to like page 4, look, how to track my dog, blah, 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 blah. You cannot get caught up. This is the reason why I'm trying to tell you guys is you can get caught up on one specific keyword. Like I've got people messaging me asking, I'm trying to target this keyword. Is that okay? Like, yeah, it's totally fine because you can target it and you're going to rank for a bunch of other keywords. That's why when people are telling you to stuff keywords into an article, it just doesn't make sense because Google's algorithm is smart enough to understand all of the other terms that you also make sense for. Okay, so this is why that one article can rank for over 1,000 keywords. That is ridiculous. Okay, so put an end to the question of should you stuff keywords in your articles, because the answer to that is no. Just write your articles and Google will pull that data and extract it and actually rank you for all of the relevant terms. Now, if you are an advanced marketer, you won't be asking the question, okay? Because some people do that very effectively. And if you were going to do it, then I would definitely say if you wanted to, like, say, for example, particularly focus on several keywords, then use them as titles. Forget about using them in your content and whatever else. I mean, that is effective as well. I'm not saying that can't work. But maybe use them as H2, H3 titles to actually really give an indication to the search engines that you are trying to rank for that particular term. Okay, so we can see all of the different keywords that they're ranking for, and that's one specific site. So that's Very interesting. You can see this looks like the biggest one out of them. So this had a big, massive page authority. So if we take a look at the second one, which is Pup Life Today, let's drum that into the tool. So as expected, you could see the other one was 2.1 million views per month. This one's down at 97, and this was the one that also showed only like 100 odd thousand on SimilarWeb. So you can see that although they don't give you the exact data, they are giving you, you know, a kind of educated guess, okay? So you can see that roughly the other one was showing 1 million on SimilarWeb and it showed 2.1 million here. So we know that's the big, massive Goliath website. And then the other one showed, or this one showed 185,000 visits per month. And then on my tool, it's showing 97,000 visits per month, which is more kind of showing us that this is like, you know, the smaller website. Okay, and then we can see that the level of authority that they have is a lot less. Okay, so it's a lot weaker. They've only got 285 backlinks. So you can see what a site can do with just 280 backlinks, you know, and look at the amount of traffic they're bringing in, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then we can see obviously down here, these are the terms that they're ranking in the top 1 to 3 for, which is only 59 according to this tool, which may be potentially inaccurate. And what you can do is actually head over to free backlink checker on Ahrefs. So they've actually got a free backlink checker, and you can put in your a domain. Okay, so it'll give you more accurate. So you can see this actually has 1,200 backlinks with 250 referring domains. So let's have a look what my tool said. See, so mine had it's 1,000 out, you know. So this is where I show you sometimes that the more premium tools will give you more data. So you can see this is extracting what my tool did plus some more as well. And domain rating, this is obviously very similar metric to what they have here, but it's different. So don't try and cross those tools. Like, I mean, you could use this as a gauge to say, okay, from 0 to 10, this is like 20-30% on this one. And then on this one, it's like 30%. Yeah, you know, it's probably similar authority, whatever, you know, but I don't really pay attention to domain rank or domain strength. Some people use that as a metric. Whatever metrics work for you, then go ahead and use those metrics. You'll find over time that there are a few that you pay attention to in particular, and that's what works effectively for you. So every time you kind of follow that system that you take, like that approach with those metrics, then you are able to get success, you know, because ultimately all we're doing is testing with this stuff. You know, you're testing what works, what doesn't work, and doing some more of what works in that sense. Okay, so then we can see obviously over here that this site is bringing in quite a lot of traffic. And then if we look at the top pages, it's a lot less different. Now, also what I want you to pay attention to is this site is bringing in, we know safely to say, over 100,000 visits per month. And if we take a look at some of those top pages, you can see that the keywords that they're actually ranking for, sorry, let's have a look. So you can see, look, if we take a look at, you know, some of the organic keywords, look, they're as low as search volume of 30. Okay, so a lot of people are always focused on these keywords and stuff and thinking, oh, I need to go for these. Well, when you're starting out, you do not want to go for those keywords. You more want to go for something very specific and long tail. So what long tail is in SEO is, you know, maybe 3 or 4 words or more within a given sentence. And it needs to be very specific. You see like how this is best Acana dog food. Okay, so it's not just best dog food for allergies, it's best Acana dog food for allergies. So this is what we would class as a long tail keyword. And the longer you get, the more specific you get, and obviously the higher converting the traffic, because if you're making something, you know, on the back of a search that's specific and you're specifically answering that query, then there's a high probability that that person's going to kind of, you know, sway wherever you kind of send them in that sense. Okay. And if you want to see more information on that, you can actually just Google it, and there's tons of different graphs which will be able to give you a clear idea and clear image of exactly how that works in that sense, long tail and short tail keywords. Okay, and if we just take a look at, you know, some of these pages on here, so let's just take a look at the top page. So we can see here again 331 keywords this one page is ranking for, 714 keywords this one page is ranking for. And what starts to get interesting is because if you've got a site that's like at the level of where mine is, say for example right now, I've got a dog site and it's really building up some good authority. I think it's like at 20 or something like that on the authority. Well, basically, at this point, I can start reverse engineering these successful websites because I'm going for more broad terms. So when you start off, I always recommend that you niche down. So you focus on one specific area, because if you can't tackle 50 people, then how can you tackle 100 people, or 1,000 people in that sense? Okay, so like what I always say is control like what you can battle, what you can have, like what you can win. And then once you've won that specific area and you've proved to yourself that you can do it, then you can expand. Now, if you're more of an advanced marketer, you might obviously breach those kind of strategies and tactics. But if you're starting out, for most of you who are watching this video, then that is a more viable approach to take as a beginner. Okay, and that's the approach that I take. As a beginner, I would still class myself. Okay, so what we can do is obviously take a look over here, and you can see all of these different keywords that they're ranking for on each particular article. And if we just take a look at this, we could see that this is like GPS trackers and whatever else. And then this one's dog training collars. So we'll be able to see, look at that. We can see, so none of them are actually at position 1, but they're ranking for all of these different terms. And this one page is able to bring in all of that traffic, which is over 6,000 page views per month. Okay, let's actually look at when that article was created, because that's quite interesting to see. So let's take a look at that. I don't know if it's actually on here, but you can see, okay, so it was last updated on January 21st, so just last month. So I don't know when it was written, but it's quite interesting. And they follow like a very cookie cutter kind of style on the website. Now, the reason why, and in this new ebook that I'm going to be bringing out very soon, I'm actually, going to bring out a priced product. Okay, so this is going to have absolutely everything that I know till this point on Amazon affiliate. And in this book, I talk about the different styles of sites, because a lot of people don't talk about it, that there are review websites, which are particular types of sites, like a site like this. And then there are blogs, and these can look very similar, almost same theme, same style, but but very big differences, okay, in the approach. And understanding that is absolutely vital to a website's success, because going, forward, you'll need to understand what direction you need to go in based on the type of site that you're trying to build or your end goal. Okay, so this book is going through absolutely everything that I know, and it's going to be coming out soon. And what I'm going to do is next week I'm actually going to create like a waiting list for it. Okay, so you can join my email subscription list for that book, and you can opt in and be notified early and get the book at a discount. So I'll be letting you know more on that later on throughout the next couple of videos. All right, so we can see here, obviously, that's site number 2, ranking for a ton of keywords, best air wash for dogs, dog air clean products. So we can see that the keywords that they're ranking for are different to the other ones. So some of them they'll be ranking for in the same terms, because I have come across them before, and obviously some of them they're not. Okay, so this site is relatively new in comparison to the other. And then we've got here Cat Life Today. So if we just take a look at that, we go back into the tool, we can see the authority of this site, and we'll actually check out the authority, on that other one in a second as well. So let's just go to URL metrics, and you can do 2 at once as well, which is quite good about this tool. Okay, so we can see that the domain authority and page authorities are very similar for both of these sites. So you can see Park Life Today is at 26 domain authority, and Cat Life is 25, and then page authority 36 and 30, which is quite interesting. That's very good. Okay, and then this one is obviously a slight bit bigger than the Pup Life according to my tool, which is a ballpark figure, as I say. And we can see that they are ranking for quite a lot more keywords within the top 1 to 3 positions. Okay, and then best cat climbers, best dry dog food, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So let's actually have a look at if they've got anything to do with dogs on this website, and then if we find that keyword, we can actually then see if they're ranking for similar keywords. It's funny because that's why they say you should never give up, because I almost did. I was trying to find a keyword of where they're ranking for several sites on one keyword, and then I just came across it now. I had to pause the video as well to find it. So actually, I just found it on this keyword here. So what I had to do is I was thinking, okay, well, if I find the smaller site, which is this one, Pup Life Today, and drum it in, well, Pet Life Today is probably going to be ranking for it as well, because they're going to be creating the terms that they rank for off of the back of the success of that one, because that was the initial site. We've already dissected and understood that the first site that came about was Pet Life Today, and then Pup Life Today seems like it's, you know, third in place, and cat Life Today came second. So they probably thought pets, then thought, oh, let's go into cats, and then, oh, we got all this success with the dog site already, or pets, cats and dogs, let's then make a dog site, okay, which is Pup Life, or maybe just focused on puppies altogether, who knows. All right, so we can see here that I've typed in the best pooper scooper, which gets 50 searches a month global, 50 searches a month local, or, you know, country specific. So this tool is called SEO Surfer. If you don't know what this is, yeah, this is a Google extension tool. It replaces keywords everywhere. So it gives you, I don't know how many searches you get per day, but you can see here that it gives you all these similar keywords and similarity, like the percentage, you know, and the average amount of backlinks that are going to these top 10 ranking sites. Okay, so you can get a gauge of what it's going to be important, because remember, I told you first stage is keyword research, second stage is inside of here, which is the good content, and the third stage is the backlinks, the power that gets sent to it. You can complicate it, but it's that simple. Okay, so if we actually come over here, we can see that it's, you know, 25 dogs pooper scoopers, and then they've done it a bit different on this one. They've done 50. Okay, and you'll see that the content looks almost identical. Now, I haven't opened this, but I know that it's going to look almost the same. So this, just to clarify, is one of their sites, which is puplifetoday.com, and then this one is called petlifetoday.com. So this is a second website, and they are in positions 1 and 2. Why? Because they understand what it took to get to number 1 there. So they've obviously emulated that and done that again on the second site. So this is exactly the kind of example what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. Make sure to leave a like if you are enjoying this video and this content. There's no one else sharing this stuff. Okay, so what we can see here, obviously, is that let's have a look at the author from this one and the author on the second one, see if they've got the same author. So they've used different authors on each particular article. That one's in health and care, and they've done it in the same categories because why? They know it works. Okay, so let's see what ones they've recommended, actually, if we just were to use this and read it as a reader and see if we landed on this. So these are pooper scoopers. So this is 2020 reviews, and I tend to follow this kind of structure in regards to the way that I do my, you know, keywords. So the keyword mainly is best pooper scoopers. Yeah, so I didn't even look at that, but you can always find it up the top here. But then obviously you add sometimes you could add that, or 70 or 50 best scoopers, pooper scoopers, or whatever else. And then I always put in brackets like 2020 reviews, and you can change that based on the year that you're in. Okay, so we can see here that they're recommending this one, Amazon foldable on this one, so on and so forth. So we take a look at those. Let's have a look at what they're doing on this one. So this one's a little bit different, the way they've actually structured the content, but let's see what one they've got. Okay, so they've actually switched it up, so they haven't got the same ones on each of them. Now, if you're trying to do this kind of stuff, this is a plugin called Easy Azon, but the one that I recommend is AAWP. There's also a link in the description to that tool, and I've also done multiple different you know, pieces of content or videos on that tool previously in previous videos. But you can see here that they're following a kind of similar structure in regards to how they actually, you know, lay out the content. And if you ever want to check out structure on content, you can see here that we can actually zoom out of this. If we were to zoom out, and you can see the type of structure that they've followed over here. So if we zoom out of this, you can see that it's very similar looking. Okay, so this is like, you know, first of all, coming in, they've got like a top pick up this one, and then the 5 best. And let's have a look how they've done this one. So they've done this one a little bit different because this is an older article. Yep, see, I knew, because this is the older site as well. Yeah, but I knew this was an older one because I've studied their site previously. That's how I found this whole video idea in that sense. Okay, but yeah, so you can see they've improved the way that they do things a little bit. It's still very similar structure, but they've now got these in these little boxes, which is better because with this they're using just an image, which they're not legally allowed to do according to Amazon's terms and conditions if they're pulling this straight from Amazon product reviews. Whereas with this, it's an API, which is basically Amazon. It's displaying Amazon's actual listing on the website. So it's actually, this is Amazon, okay? But it's just formatted it and put it into like a nice little box. And that's what an API does, if you don't know what that does, okay? And then obviously they've still got the images down here as they did previously on the other post anyway. All right, so you can see this is just like, you know, this video turned out a bit long, but you can see exactly how this works. So they're just dominating a space, and it's like, you know, the big kind of lesson I want you to take away from this is, if you are ranking and doing well in one particular niche on one particular topic, then why not own that space? Like, why not create multiple sites in that space? Because you've already proven it once. You can do it again and again in multiple different sites, and you know, you can just take over an entire industry. You can see here from an example, there's all these poor little sites that are just not getting to the top. I mean, that's Amazon down there. And then you've got these two just dominating at the top. So if they don't click that one, the reader who knows nothing about both of these sites, they'll click that one. If they don't click that one, they click that one. They're usually going to get like a high click-through rate, you know, on either of these sites. And they're just emulating that across the board with all of their websites. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a like on the video. I'll be bringing out a new piece of content on Monday afternoon, so make sure you stay in tune for that. Make sure you got that bell notification switched on. If you did like this video, obviously, as I said, leave a like. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure you're on the lookout also for my ebook, because that's going to be coming out very soon. As you know, I don't hold back with the amount of information and value that I share. I share information that gets results, and that's my goal with anything that I put out, okay? Because this is my face on the front of this, and I wouldn't want to tarnish my reputation. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.